our speaker today is Parul. He's here from Innsbruck in Austria, which is one of the big groups on fungal research run by what's the last blow?
Yes.
Cornelia Laszlo, who's kind of on, who's on par, very much on a par with David on the European scale, and people who work on, I think she predominantly seems to work on antifungal medication and that kind of thing. Well, Parul is done some amazing work on cell type modelling. Now, just before she comes up, I'll give you a small introduction on, or a small lead-in to what she's going to talk about. I came across this website this morning, this article this morning, which was a news article talking about scientists growing mini lungs in the laboratory to help with cystic fibrosis research. I know they're doing mini kidneys and they're doing mini hearts, and they're now able to do mini lungs. And you can imagine how that will help scientists in the laboratory. If they grow little mini lungs, they can then experiment on them without having to interfere with animals or people or anything. That we can just grow them ourselves and experiment on them ourselves. It is only good, of course, if you can demonstrate that those mini lungs are actually equivalent to grown-up lungs, which is what a lot of research is done before they come to this stage. And there are probably limits to what you can, to the research you can do compared within an animal, but it will replace a lot of that type of work. Well, Parul is, and I'll only say this, is working on a model by which they are replicating our airways in the laboratory. And today she's going to talk to us about that. So I'll hand you over to Parul. And good luck. Yes, I'll do the lights. That's why we were dark, because there was lots of pictures.
So welcome to the meeting, and I hope that my talk, I'm able to interest you with my work, and hopefully I don't put you all off to sleep. So I'm basically a visiting research student at the Mycology Reference Center, and I will be here for 6 months and learning everything, hopefully everything related to the clinical aspects of Aspergillus infections. So to just give you a small introduction of my journey so far, I mainly come from India. So where I completed my bachelor's and master's from the University of Pune, and then with a keen interest in fungal infection biology, I moved to Innsbruck in Austria, where I'm pursuing my PhD at the Medical University of Innsbruck. And now, as a part of my PhD program, I've come here to the University Hospital of South Manchester, where I will spend six months. And so far, with my experience so far in infection research, I've only learned about how infection occurs inside the lung. But after coming here, I will get a broader view of how these infections are really treated, and I will gain more knowledge on the clinical aspects. So while you all might have already heard a lot about how these infections are treated and what are the different types of infections, how the clinicians really deal with these infections, I will be talking more about how these infections occur inside our body and how the cells of our body react and defend these pathogens. So I am mainly working on establishing this laboratory-based 3D human lung model to study Aspergillus infections. So it mainly represents a small portion of our lung. So these cells are mainly obtained from the lung and they are cultured in the laboratory, and then I perform experiments on them, and then So basically I will be showing this work. So to tell you a little about Aspergillus, it's a saprophytic organism. Saprophytic meaning any organism that lives on other organic and decaying matter to obtain nutrients. So the colonies of this fungus produce spores, as you can see here, and these spores are released into the environment. They are literally present. Aspergillus is literally found everywhere in the soil and compost heaps, even on corn cobs. And so when the spores are released everywhere, they are almost inhaled by all of us. But it literally causes infections only in persons with an immune compromised, with a challenged immune system. So these are usually patients suffering from HIV, chemotherapy patients, patients undergoing transplants, and these are the populations which are mainly affected by these infections. So what exactly happens when we inhale these spores? So if you see here, when a healthy person inhales these spores, they enter the trachea and then into the lung. But obviously when they are entering our body, there is a defense mechanism which is provided by our body. And this first line of defense is mainly these epithelial cells which line our lung. These are mainly made up of these special cell types and produce these hair-like structures, and it's like a brush border which is continuously beating, and there is also a mucus layer present. So the mucus and the cilia, so these brush borders are mainly termed as cilia, they together help to clear off these infections. So if you see, the spores literally get trapped in this and they cannot penetrate. If, however, they cross these barriers, then how is the body going to defend? So there are some special cells which are present inside, which are provided by our body. They literally act as weapons, and these cells are immune cells. These basically get recruited at the sites where the infection literally penetrates through the epithelium, and they are able to engulf. They grab these spores and they are literally able to kill them. So infections cannot easily occur in a healthy person because he has a very strong immune system. However, in case of an immunocompromised person, when the spores are inhaled and they cross these barriers, there is a lack of an immune response. So these special cells are somehow absent to defend, to clear out this infection, which is why the spores grow out, they germinate into filamentous forms, so they form hyphae, and these literally grow out and cause infections. So why am I doing this study, and why is it important to study infections caused by Aspergillus? Since there has been a rise in the number of such kind of immunocompromised patients, there has also been a rise in infections caused by Aspergillus. And a lot of labs are performing studies to understand the fungal virulence factors, that is, the factors which are contributed by the fungus towards causing these infections. But it is also important to understand how our body reacts to this. And that is why it is important to study these specialized cells which help in clearing infections. And so we really thought that there is a need for a model system in the laboratory which would mimic the real system. And so there is a need for a potential true to life 3D respiratory model which would ideally make use of primary cells. Now, what are primary cells? These are mainly cells which are obtained from different organs. In this case, they are obtained from the lung, usually under surgical conditions, and then they are grown. So this part of the tissue is grown in specialized plasticware, in the laboratory, and the cells are provided with special nutrients so that they can grow and they mimic what is present in our body. So my work mainly involves culturing these cells, that is growing these cells under a perfused three-dimensional cell culture system. So a perfused system is one which has a flow, which I will show in my next slides. So this model mainly comprises of the human bronchial epithelial cells and the special cells which are called immune cells. I will show you what these immune cells are in my next slide. So this is just an image of a blood vessel from which blood is splattering out, and this is the plasma which gives the fluidity to our blood. And these are the different cells which you find here are RBCs, platelets, and mainly these WBCs, that's the white blood cells, which mainly help to fight away these infections. And the special cells that I'm going to talk about in my presentation today are these, the dendritic cells and the macrophages, which are basically activated by our body when they get invaded by infectious agents. So these basically have these extensions like an octopus which has tentacles. So these are able to literally grab the pathogen, that is the spores, and they can kill them. And that's what I'm mainly working with. So why is it important to have these special cells in this kind of a model? So these cells, that is the dendritic cells and the macrophages, they express special receptors on their surfaces, which are able to recognize other molecules which are expressed by the fungus, that is the spores and the hyphae. And once they recognize these fungi, they get activated and further result into activation of other special cells present in our body. Simultaneously, they are able to also release a lot of substances which result into signaling, and so it's like the cells literally communicate with each other through these substances, and so there is a tight network which is present while fighting away these infections, and that is why it is important to have these cells in this kind of a model.
And do each of these cell types have a different role in attacking the fungus?
Yes. Every cell type will behave in a different way when it comes in contact with the fungus. For example, these macrophages, they are able to literally engulf the spores, and they can cause killing by releasing certain substances. And these cells, these are the dendritic cells, these are able to somehow degrade the spores, and they literally, they are able to express certain molecules after degradation which are like signals to further cells in the immune system.
It's a race though, isn't it? Because that neutrophil can engulf the spore and it will eat it.
Yes.
Literally digest it. But in some cases the spore can actually outgrow. If the spore manages to grow faster than it gets eaten,
yes,
it will survive.
Yes.
That's one way. That's why you need lots of other types of ways of killing the spore.
Yes, exactly. So I know it gets a little more complicated as I progress through my slides, but I hope to make it a little more simple while explaining it. So I'm mainly working with the cells which are present in the upper and the lower airways. So these are NHBE, that is normal human bronchial epithelial cells, which are isolated just above the bifurcation in the lung. And I'm also working with the lower airways, which are these small airway epithelia, and these are literally obtained from the lower bronchioles. And these cells are then cultured in these specialized membranes. So they are like these plastic containers with membranes that support the growth of these cells, and then these containers are maintained in these wells which have this liquid that provide nutrients to the cells, and there is a liquid phase on one side and an air phase on the upper side. So it literally mimics what is present inside our body. So the cells are able to then grow, they proliferate, and they produce different cell types, which result into a production of the hair-like structures, cilia, and they also produce mucus. So they have this mucus as cilia, and hence they are able to exactly mimic this small portion in our lung, and then we can perform experiments on these. So this whole procedure takes about 21 days until the cells are really ready with the cilia and the mucus. But 21 days is really a long time because you have to really wait until the cells are ready for an experiment. So to enhance and accelerate this process, we are culturing these cells now in this perfusion system. This is basically a flow-based system where you have these chambers where you can maintain the cells on the containers which are inserted in these chambers, and then the liquid, that is the food which is required by these cells, is pumped through the chambers. And this accelerates the growth, and the cells literally are able to differentiate and grow within 7 to 10 days. So it literally accelerates the whole process. And the advantages...
Are you starting with pieces of tissue, or are you digesting the cells so that you're putting them on a single cell and they then proliferate? Not like neonatal heart cells.
Yes, so these are mainly, so the cells are actually obtained from a company which literally gets the lung cells from healthy individuals, and then we simply have them in these vials. So we really don't have to obtain them from
their individual cells. You're not putting them in the sheets.
Yes, they are individual cells which are put on these membranes, and then they grow.
And do they grow together to form like a single membrane?
Yes, and I will show. That's exactly what I'm coming to in my next slide.
It's really impressive. It saves a lot of work. I mean, there's food circulating across the membrane, and I presume that's what enables it to grow so long and differentiate like that. Because when I was working in tissue culture, it was a daily job. All my cells grew at the bottom.
Yeah.
They were covered with dead food, but I had to take that off and replace it with fresh food every 3 days.
Yes.
Whereas you've got a much better system. I wish I was working on your system.
So that's basically the methodology that goes into building this 3D model. So now I'm going to show you some interesting results. So this is what you literally see inside a lung. So these colors basically represent the different surface molecules which are expressed inside our lung. So the pink represents the mucus. That's how the mucus looks. The green represents the cilia, and the red represents the cells. So these are the cellular borders where you really see the cells are tightly packed, and these help to maintain this barrier so that it prevents any foreign invaders or bacteria or fungi from entering the epithelium. If, however, these borders loosen up or the cells begin to separate, that's when the fungus is able to penetrate into the epithelium, and that's how the cilia literally look. They are like spaghettis, and they are always moving really fast. I have a video to show you in my next slide. So once these cells were ready, we wanted to add some spores and see how they react. So when there are no immune cells present, this is what happens. So we did a time course where we added the spores for 5 minutes, for 30 minutes, for 3 hours, and for 6 hours. So what happens at 5 hours is that the spores are literally able to attach to the epithelial cells. The epithelial cells send out these extensions which literally allow the spores to stick to the surface. And after 30 minutes, the cilia literally grab the spores. As you can see here, the spore is covered by the cilia. And after 3 hours and 6 hours, they are taken up by the epithelial cells. So this is something that's very surprising, that the epithelial cells are able to pick up the spores. But I still haven't done any experiments which would show whether they are able to kill these spores. This would be really interesting.
So this is also demonstrating the value of your model system. We're talking earlier on about things you could do with these systems that you couldn't do in a mouse or in a human cell. You couldn't do that experiment because you can't take away the immune cells.
Yes, you can.
So with this, you can deconstruct every single element and then add them back one by one.
Yes.
We learn a lot.
Yes. And so we made a comparison of how the cells look when they are cultured in these wells as compared to when they are cultured in this flow system. So under these static systems, that is non-flow conditions, they do produce mucus, cilia, and they have these very good cellular borders. But the process takes 21 days, as I mentioned. But this process of differentiation is really accelerated when the cells are grown under these flow conditions, and they produce more mucus and more cilia, and they have really good cell borders, which explains that this system is really ideal to work with. So that's a comparison we made on how the cilia look. That is the brush border that I was talking about, when the cells are grown under non-flow conditions versus flow conditions. So under non-flow conditions, the cilia are more scattered. They are not uniformly present everywhere. But under flow conditions, the cells are able to produce a lot of cilia. And you really see that they are uniformly present everywhere.
The culture medium that you're pushing through, does it have any factors in it which would cause the cells to differ?
Yes, they do have special factors like retinoic acid and epithelial growth factors and other components which help the cells to differ. Yes. So this is a small movie showing the comparison of how the cilia look when they are beaten inside the lung. So that's under non-flow conditions. And that's the one where the cells were grown under flow-based conditions. The cilia are really present everywhere, and they really beat very fast.
It kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Because in the body where they would normally be growing, that's a flow system.
Yes, that's essentially a flow system. So that's a very interesting video where, so you see here, there is an island of cells. So these are basically a group of the epithelial cells which express these cilia, and I have added some red spores to them. So these spores express this special red fluorescent molecule, and hence it's easy to do the imaging with these. So they really beat very. That's basically a kind of mucociliary clearance provided by the lung.
And the little red dots are
The little red dots are the spores.
So is there any mucus involved?
Yes.
Yes. So you can see how, is that speeded up or?
Yes, it's speeded up.
Because the whole operation in our lungs would maybe take a few hours to go from the bottom of, say, the bronchus up to the top.
Yes.
Because you actually, maybe a couple of hours to move the foot.
Yes. So then I move to the next part of my story, where the immune cells, that is the special cells which are present in our body, come into play. So basically these dendritic cells which I showed in my previous slide, these are seen patrolling under the epithelial layer. So whenever a spore comes in on top, these dendritic cells are literally able to stretch out their dendrites or like tentacles, and they are able to grab these, and then they get activated, and then they result into further activation of other cells in the immune system. And this is exactly what we wanted to test with our model. So we obtained these dendritic cells from blood, and so if you see, the epithelial cells were cultured on these in these containers, and the dendritic cells were cultured on the lower side, just to exactly mimic what is present inside our body. And then we added some spores on top, representing this part, and then we wanted to see what happens when these spores are added. So we did a time course. So here you see these are all the 3D cultures where there is no infection. So you do not see any green signals. The green signals mainly represent the dendritic cells because they are labeled green, and the spores are labeled red. But there are portions where you will see these yellow spots. These are mainly the areas where the dendritic cells have already grabbed the red spores, which is why you see this yellow signal. And so with time, you see more and more dendritic cells coming on the upper side. And after about a day, the spores do not really remain as spores. They germinate into hyphae. And when they germinate into hyphae, they are able to express more molecules on their surface, which is why more and more dendritic cells are able to come on the upper side. And that's how the cells behave when under infectious conditions. So the story with the dendritic cells mainly represents infections in the upper airways, but we were also interested in looking at what happens in the lower airways. So we had these macrophages, which I showed in my previous slide. We obtained these from human blood, and then we cultured these on they are called alveolar macrophages. And these are mainly present on the upper side, on the side where the spores are coming in. So we first wanted to see if these macrophages are able to survive on these epithelial cells. And they were able to do so for up to 21 days. So we moved on to the next part where we added some red spores again, and we got not very surprising results, but yes, this is what we expected. When there were no spores added, the macrophages were more spread out. But the moment we added spores to our 3D culture, the macrophages began to slide over the epithelial layer to grab the spores. So you see literally aggregates of these macrophages in areas when there are these spores present.
I think you've already shown us a movie of the spores that just going flying past the epithelium. But you've also shown us that the epithelial layer will grab onto spores.
Yes.
So do you think one possibility why the epithelium grabs the spores is to keep it in one place so that these cells can go and attack them?
Yes. So what I think is in the previous experiment, there are no macrophages or dendritic cells present, and there is definitely a mechanism which is also provided by our epithelial cells in absence of these, cells, but it is definitely not. It cannot equate to the response which is given by dendritic cells or macrophages.
Yeah. And how do they know? How do they know a spore is there? Do we have any idea?
Yes, so this is what we want to check. So in my previous slide, where I showed you the different substances that are released, so we really want to now extend our study towards understanding what are these substances, whether these are really the signaling molecules which result into movement of these macrophages towards areas where there is infection. And in my last slide here, again you can see these are the macrophages alone with these structures. There are no spores present here, so they are literally spread all over. But the moment you add the spores, they start moving in the areas where the spores are present. And that's, so here you can see, this is how the epithelial layer looks with a macrophage sitting on top. And this one is a macrophage that has already grabbed the spore. So that's what I have done so far. And just to summarize my work, so far we were able to show how the spores interact with the epithelial cells. We were also able to show how the epithelial cells and the immune cells together interact with the spores. And I would further like to extend this study towards understanding the immune cell interactions with respect to what are these chemicals which are released by the different cells after infection. And these studies can also be extended to understanding T cell interactions. T cells are another type of special cells present in our body which help to fight away these infections. Okay, and finally I'd like to thank Graham for giving me this opportunity. It's really been nice. I hope that I was able to share my work to the best. And I especially thank Professor Michael Richardson for giving me this opportunity to work here at MRC. And to just sum up my experience so far, it's been really great. I've been here for 2 months now, and so for the past two and a half years, I was only learning about how infections take place. But now I'm literally getting the experience as to how these infections should be treated, and apart from the real practical experience, I'm also able to participate in other activities, this being the best example, and everyone here really works as a team. I need not mention about the work by Professor Denning and Professor Richardson and even Dr. Reena Richardson, and it's not only about them, but everyone here who works as a team. To give a small example, so we have these multidisciplinary team meetings meetings which take place every week where the doctors literally come together with researchers and the diagnostics, and they really discuss each and every patient case in detail as to what should be the treatment given, and they really take care of their patients. So I can assure you that you are at the best place, and I hope that some years down the line I could help contribute to this.
Yeah. And of course the other part of the team.
Yes.
Patients
And
and
yes, and I thank you all for patiently listening to me.
Any questions?
You're saying you're talking about the signals. Are you going to be looking for sort of humoral signals? You can maybe put the macrophages on one side of the membrane and the cells on the other, and see if these signals are moving across the membrane.
Yes. So basically, we want to see what is called the cytokine response after infection, and so we perform a wide range of experiments where we really treat these cells with live spores and dead spores. So the spores are usually so for dead spores the spores are inactivated, and then we want to compare the response. And yes, we are doing such kind of studies.
So you're hoping one day you might be able to put something down from microscopy and put some cells down to enable us to fight things better. Okay?
So this is so basically this is a very basic, it's basic research where we obtain where the cells are obtained, but I'm not very sure if you can really no, you cannot say anything.
One way, what the next step for me, and probably the relevant to us, you've described a normal
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
Where you brought those cells in, presumably we could get those cells from somebody who's got Aspergillosis.
Yes,
And
exactly.
set up an Aspergillosis model system.
Yes.
And then compare the two.
Yes, and then compare the two. And so these are normal human bronchial epithelial cells, but what you can also obtain from patients is you can also obtain these lung cells from cystic fibrosis patients, and that's where you can really infect that model and compare it with this one and see what are the differences. Then that would be the next.
So coming close to your answer.
Yes, it's quite close to.
Is there something we could add to your lungs? Maybe we could add in some of those cells that inhabit the airways that are normal compared to assuming that the cells in the airways of some epithelial or some are abnormal in some way, which we will understand through the use of that system, and then we could take even super macrophages and pop it into the lungs of Aspergillosis patients, and maybe that would help them improve.
Yeah, a lot of people who are very susceptible to fungal infections that have some fault in their cell-based immunity.
But you see the complexity, and that's a very simplistic model. Although it's very sophisticated, it's quite simple. We're only talking about 3 or 4 different cell types. So only one of those cell types has a fault and doesn't do its job correctly. The whole thing is
What actually do you use for your support membrane?
So these are basically, they are called transfers. They are made from plastic, and they have this thin film at the bottom.
What's that made of?
That's made up of polyester.
Okay.
And then it's coated with collagen, which helps to support the cells so that the cells can literally grow on this matrix.
we might be able to self-coat ourselves with probably environment. I'm fascinated that you can grow cells where one side of the cells are in the air.
Yes.
I mean, obviously it's slightly more working with airways.
Yes, that's actually the
They're
main.
still alive.
Yes, that's actually the triggering point for these cells, because the moment, so at the very first stage when the cells are literally put on these membranes, they are cultured under liquid conditions. And once they really cover the entire area, that is when they get confluent, that's when they are shifted to an air liquid. And when they are shifted to this air liquid, this triggers differentiation of the cells.
So do you think that mimics what happens in a baby's life?
In a baby's life.
Because the baby's born is loaded full of fluid,
Yes.
and then it coughs, and it takes its first breath.
Yes, yes.
Is that maybe the same thing?
Yes, it's probably the same thing, yes.
So actually that child is going through a huge number of changes in its first few months.
So I wonder whether actually they are pledges to the edges, so I'm sure there's a big number of DNAs in the units, but are there membranes, the lining of their tubes, the same as adults, or are they actually different? Do they differentiate? Do they have the same number of cilia?
Yes, because these cilia are also present in our stomach, in the intestine.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
What's those microscopes? So the electron microscopes?
Yes, so the images where these images are obtained under an electron microscope, and these are obtained under a confocal. It's a laser scanning microscope, which has special lasers that can activate. Yeah.
So when you're picking up your different colours, you're using different, that's sort of a multiple. You scan with one.
Yes, exactly. It's like taking different bits and then putting everything together.
I think I was involved in science before computers were involved. I was there when we bought our first desktop computer. I was from China. This is why I'm here today.
So we're also there before we had electronic calculators.
Yes, just great.
Mechanical.
Beads.
No, wasn't that one.
Any more questions? Yeah, that kind of goes quite well with Paul Bowyer's talk on with the ADPA, and you talked about there was one particular mutation that affects I think it was epithelial cells, that made a particularly different stuff that made the hyphae grow faster. So as soon as those hyphae are growing faster, then they can start to outgrow these cells that are trying to kill them. And that's one of the consequences. I was on time. Very interesting. And just needs to say thank you very much to Parul for a fascinating conference.
Thank you.
And Facebook has gone on. Never mind. After the Lord Mayor's show, as they say in the north of England, here's my contribution. These are just a few things that we talked about in the last few months. Chris and I had a quick conversation about that this morning. We decided what we wanted to do about this issue, which was that we don't think people are getting attention fast enough from the ambulance service. Unfortunately, we haven't worked out what we can do about it yet, how to do what we want to do, which is to try and get advice to the people who answer the phones when you're in trouble. If you report a lung bleed, then it's a full emergency and not just something they can sign up for in an hour. So we're working on that, and we've taken on the what we discussed last time. Handheld fans as well. I have fed back our conclusions from the last meeting last month to Professor Denning. He hasn't replied. But I will chase him again for that. I think we should just be looking at providing wrapped, new, small, cheap handheld fans after you viewed all your concerns. So that's good. if you haven't tried, I don't think anyone here's been on. Nobody's been on to the weekly Skype meetings. This is also for people obviously who are going to watch the recording. We have our weekly Skype meetings on Thursday at 11 o'clock, and at the moment we're on British summertime, so that's when it happens. But of course, in the winter it will be an hour later. Greenwich Mean Time, 4 March backwards 4. Yeah. Work it out. Use Google. In what sense? Yes, we go. There's about 20 people who've been on it at least once. We generally have 8 to 10 people who come every week, and it becomes a bit like this. It becomes more of a conversation. I did do sort of short presentations at the start, but at the moment I'm too busy to do that. So it's just become, we talk about any issue that comes up. Somebody mentions a problem they've got. We had someone who has gone to his GP. His GP has refused to take blood for our service. The GP will only take blood here, opposite the elbow. And in common with a lot of people who have that done regularly over many years, you can no longer get blood from that area. So they want it done at the wrist or the back of the hand or whatever, and they point blank refuse to do it. The nurse refuses to do it because she's not qualified or she's not trained or whatever. So obviously there's a different course you have to go to take blood from places elsewhere. And they're not prepared to learn. The GPs aren't prepared to spend the time doing it. So it's an issue. He's been sent to hospital, and they've also said they can't do it anywhere but here, in a hospital. So this is the sort of thing that crops up, and he's at his. Well, I've raised it with the clinical team, more importantly with Chris. And he has his GP has actually written a letter to us saying he's not going to do it. I don't know. They seem totally confused as to how they took blood from him. And we need them to take blood every 3 months, and they're just making it difficult. So it's been discussed at NDT level, and I don't want to decide. Obviously, that's confidential anyway. So that actually it comes up, and you work really well with a long conversation. An hour goes by fairly quickly. 2 or 3 people tend to talk more than that. But that keeps it going. So that's worth hopping along and having a look if you're using Skype. I've got 23 people in the group, and I can only have 24. So I keep having to push people out who don't come every week. So the size is becoming an issue, so I might have to look at using a different form of Skype, which is less restrictive. The other thing that came out of that conversation was they wanted us to set up a Twitter account. I don't know if anyone's ever had anything to do with Twitter, but there were 2 or 3 people who were very keen on Twitter in this group. And so I set them up an account. Essentially, it's a way that we can carry on talking about issues that come up in the conversation on Thursdays, and anybody else can have a go as well. So I'm pointing it out that that's what's happening here. That is a bit misleading. All that is the newsletter advert. The only image on that page is the disabled parking image, so the system picked it up and put it next to it. It shouldn't be. It's a bit, and so put it over here as well for some reason. So that's a bit balmy, but already 27 people are involved in that. So
Is it a closed group? I don't use Twitter. Is it a closed group? Do you have to join like
you set up an account with your email and your password, and you just type in you can type in your ID. It can be anything, I think.
So anybody can.
Yeah.
So it can be quite uncontrolled.
Yes, but the thing about this is it's short to the point, and they were saying was there were one or two other groups that have this sort of thing, and because they have to be short and concise and to the point, issues get dealt with a lot faster. Ironically, from one of the talks in those in the group, he didn't get the irony at the time. So that's available as well on that Aspergillus. I can't put the ORT at the end of don't allow me enough letters. So that's available. Facebook Live, which is still running. No, I didn't want it to run. Which just does this. This is the Facebook page for the group, and the meeting just appears on the page. So everybody who's going to the group, and there's 1,000 people go on the groups, with no further effort, unlike Skype, where you have to download and install and ID and dial the right place. It's just there. So, and it also records it. So that's a recording of last month's meeting. So it's easy, reaches a lot of people. At this point, 285 people have watched that video. 2 people used to watch Skype. So quite a good thing. I'm replacing our other streaming method with it. Although it didn't work earlier on, it's still working now. That's another way to watch the meeting, as long as it works. And if you liked watching the meeting live, in a couple of months, we've appointed a new assistant for me, and we're appointing another person shortly. So hopefully there'll be someone there who can chat away online when if you're dialing in remotely, they'll be able to respond to questions and things like that as well. At the moment, I can't do it because there's only me, and before that, the last person we had wasn't interested in doing that, so it didn't work. Right, and now Chris has got some. So sort of didn't go into that very smoothly, did I? This is not about Chris, so don't worry.
It's not. But you made a call, we talked about recording information, and I was struggling because I was trying to pull in information and it's impossible. So just to tell you what does happen currently is at the end of every month, someone goes through all the summary care records, which is outside of care. It's pulled in through GPs, and data that is recorded on patients. So the GP will notify, and it gets uploaded onto a system, and then they report to me any of our patients, which only for this service, and then I will record it. But as I said previously, often I don't know when or how. So that's as much as I know dates, and that's it. So, but more recently, the NHS have decided they want a mortality audit for across the hospital. For each service, it doesn't matter who, what, or how. They want us to go through every single one and audit it and say what could have done differently. And it might not be what it does, but the difficulty for us in that setting is we can present the patient and the information, but we won't know why or how necessarily. And I'm just wondering if anyone's got any thoughts on how best to pull that information in. So one of my thoughts was if you're admitted to a local hospital, that someone could inform us that it is a local hospital or that it's at home. Because if we know where, we'll be able to contact the GP and get the information, and we'll contact the local hospital. But as you can imagine, our patients are scattered all over the country, so that's quite a challenge. So in a way it's a good thing, because what I was trying to achieve now might become possible just by us doing that mortality meeting. It'll be a lot of work, but I'm just concerned that we'll be slightly disadvantaged because most of our patients have underlying conditions which aren't necessarily that often Aspergillus, which is what I was trying to achieve in the first place. And as I said, it could have been in our hospitals. No one's going to feed that back to us. And of course, relatives may not feel, obviously they will, be grief-stricken and not thinking about that. I think some amount. But I just wondered if anyone's got any ideas about how or what we should do, how we can pull that information in.
I could do my will.
Oh, did you? Excellent. Yeah. So some people are, like you say, they ring and they notify us, and if I speak to them directly, I always ask the question, do you mind me asking when, how, where? And that's fine. So it's just a means of someone recording it, or at a later date, like say when or how, it doesn't matter when. It doesn't have to be right at that time, but if someone can just drop a note to say it was, because obviously if it's at another hospital, they won't notify us, and the GP might not know either. And then the GP, I don't know if you know this, but more often than not, does that pretty swiftly. The minute they know, it goes on the summary of care record, boom, away it goes, and the records go as well. That's it, done. Because obviously they're kind of cleaning up their systems, if you like. So even if you ring 2 weeks later and say, this particular person is under your care, can you tell us? We won't have any idea. They put it on the system, it's done. So that leaves us in a really tricky situation, because we do have to do the mortality meeting now. We do have to record where we can. But how are we going to actually do that if the GPs are so quick to notify and move the records off? How are we going to get that information? That's the dialogue.
People with Aspergillus, are they very often subject to postmortem?
No. The chronic illness, you see, so most situations like that, they know that they're chronically ill, so and you're usually under the care of the GP regularly, so GP senior, because I think the rule, I used to work in histopathology years ago, and within the rules, if you've been seen by your GP or your doctor here for 30 days, they just sign it off. Don't need to. So unless something happens, some unexpected events, then they call for it. But generally speaking, no. So it gets signed off. Keep these records up and off it goes. And that's that.
Yes, there's no point carrying cards saying that you're being treated by the centre.
Unless you were informing the doctor to say, that's the other way. If you've got a good relationship with your GP and you took the trouble to say they very much need any information related to this, can you feed back to them before you move the records on? I don't know if that's possible.
Just wondering if like a card.
Yes, I agree with you. That just
you carry that actually says that. So
it's about capturing it somewhere. Some GPs are really good and they'd be happy to do that, I'm sure. You get sunlight.
You should be like put a flag on you.
Yeah, on your, well exactly, that's most of it's electronic now, and that you just have a little message on saying, yeah, exactly, please inform. Because if we're expected to do this now, I'm just concerned now. I'm glad in a way, because it's what I was trying to achieve months ago and couldn't do it. But now we've been told to do it, and this is for everybody, not just our patients, everybody. We're required to do it. But how are you going to get that?
Because presumably other patient groups, like diabetics, there's the same requirement to do this.
That's right. We run ID services, and they'll be required to do the same.
So surely somebody must be successfully doing it.
Well, some of them will, I suppose, if they've been in hospital, they'll pull in the doctors and discuss what happened while they were in hospital. So the people that were in here, that would be easy. They'll bring
But I'm just thinking that so there must be other groups who've got a similar situation. Patients who come into a centre and then go away to their home through all over the country. Then there must be, even though the record gets closed, it must go up to our.
Well, maybe I need to explore where it's. I'm just thinking that, because for me, these audits will be incomplete for lots of people.
It just feels like a problem that somebody might have solved.
Somewhere else, yes. Yeah. it's
So
probably
as
like,
is the
so I have to think of somewhere
is the
like,
people like you,
yeah.
is each of these different sort of
Well, as you know, we're the only centre, so but we have to. Well, indeed, of course. So glad you said that. But I'm wondering whether somewhere like cystic fibrosis or transplant or somewhere like that may have to, and maybe it's worth fishing around their departments to see.
Somebody passes away, no matter where they are, is there in their GP report anyway?
Yeah, so
You're already in trouble.
yeah. So that's why sometimes,
yeah,
he is, but they're very swift, that's what I'm saying. Some of it, sometimes when I bring up on it, oh no, sorry, I've got the records anymore. They upload it. You know when you come to the desk here and you say change the GP, and we always say to you, we can't do it, it has to be the GP that does it. That's where your summary care records come from, because he uploads onto there, because again it's down to CCGs now, isn't it? And who's paying for what. So they upload that information. We can change your home address in detail, but we can't change your GP. He has to do that and upload it on the system. And then he's the one that gets that information, puts it on the summary care records. But then the minute he's done that, he no longer needs your file, so off it goes. And that was the bit I was trying to intercept, to say, can we have sight? Can we, no, too late, gone. And I tried to do it through the registrars in Southport. No, I wrote all the tax on, and I could have it, I could have the information, but I'd have to pay £30 for every one I, because I'd have to have from issue a death certificate, a copy of the death certificate for every patient. Well, and I'd explained everything. I said I'd go down and go through it himself if he wanted to show me. I put all sorts of stuff on there. And that's the quickest way for me, because obviously that's where it would be, that it would have the whole thing. Because I was more interested in the cause of death, just to see whether we had it, whether, you know, Mr. Brown died of his heart disease, or was it the Aspergillus? So we were just trying to establish whether the Aspergillus was the problem that caused the death, or whether it was all the multiple other diagnoses that they had, which, you know, could well be. So that's what we were trying to achieve for a paper, but we struggled, it was so hard. But now this has come to light that we have to do a monthly mortality audit. And I was thinking, great, but how are we ever going to capture that?
Doesn't that toughen up your requirement there? So now you can go to, if you know who all the GPs are, you send them all a note.
Yeah.
Of course, through a patient, send them a note.
But you have to be ahead of the game, you see, with it. They have to, as we said, have a notice on the file to say, don't release the records, so you've informed.
Please inform.
Yeah, so I think
then again, I think that could be, if everybody's going to have to do that, then we don't actually get everybody. Everybody who's under a hospital or
because it's not just us that are going to do it.
So everything's so
the first,
That's what passes away.
you should be notifying the people that they're
Doesn't
under
matter who got diabetes or that.
the consultant.
No. Some are very good, in fairness, we get back to the street to say just reform you, and that's really helpful. And sometimes I'll ring back and say, and that's where I found out how quick they get rid of records, because when I've got that back, I thought, ooh, and I've rung and said, oh, thanks for sending that information to me, please tell me, and they go, oh, no, we haven't got records anymore. Because that's how quick they get rid of them. So, the first one is in August, and I want to be able to go back to that meeting and raise these points, how we're going to pull in this. Someone said the other week, one of the managers said, well, someone will have to ring the GPs, and I knew straight away when she said it, I thought, it's not going to happen. Well, it's just not going to work, I don't think. Or ring the hospitals, that might be easy, but then I guess you're going to have to go through bereavement.
You've got a directive from somebody, what you've got to do.
Yeah.
Surely that directive should be sent to the GPs as well. So, the staff at hospitals all over the country were begging for this information. From now on, the GP should not be.
And that's what I want to be able to be armed ready when we go back. I believe there's a form coming through, and I haven't seen it yet, so it might be that there's something on there. But I kind of want to know what the stumbling blocks are ready for this meeting, so we can say, yes, we can do that, but we're not going to be able to do that piece of it, because you're going to have to help us out with, and guide them through it.
So all that information that the GPs have, I mean, I've mainly got paper files.
Yeah.
But surely that computer file must be backed up somewhere else. You think it should be
Should
accessible.
be at the practitioners board, I think. Well, it could have changed now, but we used to be the family practitioners board that held all the records, didn't it?
I can imagine them dumping paper records, but computer records aren't
Should
at
just
all.
be saved
Because they
somewhere.
must, since all this nonsense that happened.
Yeah, so it makes you wonder whether they just say that to you.
Backups.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It must be archived, and there must be a way of accessing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
If there was a criminal investigation,
Yeah, they
for
might
example,
be find it, yeah. So it must be due to the fact that, no, sorry, it's left and that, because they know it creates a lot of work for
yes,
them, maybe.
it's about work there.
Probably.
I'm sure. The surgeries, I mean, they struggle with that, all of this kind of stuff.
Well, it's just a thought, but if anyone goes in the GP in the next month, and you ask the question, whether they can put a note on your file, is that possible, you've been asked files, just see what, because it'd be good to get their view and see,
Yeah.
and if they know you well enough, which they will, that you're a regular, not someone
Both the doctors we had have retired, and we don't even know the name of the new doctor.
Yeah.
Nobody's actually informed us that our doctor's retired, and your doctor's now whoever.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to say really, because the in-laws have just been told that their surgery's closing and they have to find another doctor and they're 88, 90. And they were like, what do we do now? And, we'll have to do it and that's fine, but what about the person who got someone like us? That's really worrying.
Yes, you keep hastening all the surgeries, because my doctors, they've got a new practice manager and the place was falling apart until she come. So she comes to contact you or she, because nothing gets done, the doctors are doing until this going on, and she's not more back into shape, so wouldn't the practice manager be
Yeah, they have one, absolutely. But it's, because some of them are small around the places in Scotland, will probably have a wee doctor and a receptionist. Maybe, I don't know.
There's probably more.
Yes, exactly, because they'll know everybody inside out, and the names of the cows in the field, but anyway. So
It'd
it's
be hard
just
to
a
get
thought.
volunteer though to be a mortality to test the system and get something sorted out that.
Yeah.
Without volunteers,
Yeah, you
be a
can do
mortality.
Oh, don't joke, they're looking for volunteers. Anyway, if you think of anything, let me know when I will go to this meeting and I'll see what the form's like if it comes through. We've not sent it through yet, even though we've come out with the meeting. So that's it, isn't it?
It's an internal reason in this hospital.
Yeah, it came down from one of our other meetings and said that we have to do it every month and we have to audit it. And it's as easy in terms of for our service because we have we always have patients put forward, but then they said everybody in IB as well, so all the other services. But then it just occurred to me, I thought, well, put a few obstacles and just maybe that we're going to get them in there. But I'm sure it must come out eventually. So, any thoughts, let me know. You just were talking about the synopsis thing before. Sorry, just thought of something. I don't know if you've mentioned this at one of the meetings about the patient who went to a GP and they wanted to charge her for the test. I don't know if you've mentioned that before. Is anyone familiar with that story? Well, it's just to tell you that to tell them no, there isn't any charge. The patient in question went to go and have a, we send you to postal bloods and went to get blood stock and they said, oh no, there was a charge of £28. And she said, no, because I've got to have these done every 3 months. And we said, no, we'll charge you for that, we consider it private. So, anyway, just so you I don't know. I don't think he understood what was really required and why we were doing it as part of the problem. So that's been dealt with in the written statement. This is NHS and there isn't a charge. But just so you're on with your new doctor, whoever that might be. You never know. I think this is how things change, and you might walk in one day, but if anyone does say that to you, there definitely isn't a charge, and just let us know on our right hand stuff. So yeah, just remind me about the patient.
Oh yes.
So
that's why it's on the slides of the memory triggers.
It helps me, it works.
Well, it's getting more important that I get older. Right. Don't think we've got enough time to do that now. Should we have a go?
Yeah.
We talked about this last month a bit, which is essentially, to cut a long story short, hang on, Patient Involvement Network, is a European organisation based in the UK who have this patient priorities programs, and it's essentially for any group of patients, but it's really handy in that it's like the paper that a lot of you are looking at. That is one of the 3 groups I think that currently run a patient priorities program. And if you read through that, it tells you, I haven't read through it yet myself, very much. It tells you about their thought process and what they did and how they formed their project. And essentially what it's about, well, there you go. The development of guidance to address the needs of patients and inform healthcare professionals on areas where European level patient-centred information is lacking, which is quite a mouthful. But essentially, see if I can find the actual, yes, there you go. Essentially the aim is addressing gaps. Okay, we've addressed a gap just now, and that gap is when an ambulance person is called, we don't think this group of patients gets adequate urgency on the set circumstances. So that's a gap we could put in as a priority to be addressed throughout Europe. Yeah? And what we have to form is a process of identifying more gaps in what you think your care is as a group of aspergillosis patients. Not only in the UK, but European wide. So I've identified a few along the lines of they might be able to help us provide support in different languages, and maybe a patient-centered conference that would be European-wide, that type of thing. There are a number of criteria, other things that we could put into this project, which are listed there. It shouldn't really overlap with previous patient priority projects. So the chances of Aspergillosis overlapping with other types of projects is fairly minimal, I would think. You must have impact on individuals across Europe, which I think the emergency thing probably would have. The identification of mortality figures might well have. The scope of the project and feasibility for successful outcomes, it must be possible. I think ELF would assist us with some funding if some of the things we suggested cost some money. It must be patient-led. It can't be me telling you what to do. The feasibility of bringing patients, healthcare professionals from across Europe together. I guess if we propose, and essentially one of the things that we've talked about a few times is you want to disseminate the knowledge we have here across Europe more effectively and across even just the UK more effectively. So you would need some sort of a forum to bring healthcare professionals together to discuss that. But also, this is about putting your opinions over to those health professionals and telling them that they need to learn a lot more about aspergillosis, for example, and respond when people complain about aspergillosis a bit more appropriately in some cases. So that must be possible somehow. Okay, so essentially, we have to identify these gaps in healthcare in the UK and across Europe. And that is the first process that we have to engage in. So I can ask you now to have a think like last month we said, to have a think about what some of these gaps might be. suggestion to bring out.
I think it's a speedy diagnosis of Aspergillus rather than years and years of respiratory problems.
That's the diagnosis. So
Well, Helen, is that from the first doctor or from us?
No. Speaking
From
years
the
and
point
years
that you
from
present.
hospital
So-
to hospital.
So that's almost a different thing, isn't it? That's almost,
Well, I think
it's a prolonged.
medic education.
Yeah. Having asthma attacks.
Because I agree with you from hospital to hospital, I don't think that that's good enough. Yeah, because I think they think, oh, it's all under control, and then suddenly realise it's not, and then it sounds so good.
I think
That's what I think.
I think when you've got a pre-existing chronic condition, that all hospitals don't belong.
Yes, we're just focusing on that and not anything else out of the box.
Because that's what we Jennifer Castlestone, the practice nurse, went to a lecture here, but she heard about it, and then said, let's Jim, and then we all went down.
So a lack of focus essentially of diagnosing and awareness.
So what?
Awareness kind of fits into that, but they might be aware of essentially they like the ground that they are comfortable on. I've often felt that they don't want to go into aspergillosis too much because then they'll have to use antifungal to get the antibiotics. For good reasons.
In reality, how many GPs are actually on the ball with
Primary level awareness.
how many have heard of it, let alone know anything about it?
But they don't have knowledge to GPs.
So that sort of this awareness, they might be aware, but they don't want to engage, they don't want to awareness, they're not educating themselves, they're not aware of the importance of it for something. The one that always sticks in my mind is asthma. For severe asthma people. I go on a Facebook severe asthma group, and I've just gone in there and said, how many of you know that you're sensitive to fungi? And there's nobody. And they took a few individuals that replied straight away. And then said, well, are you aware of the impact that having a fungal infection in the lungs can have, and the difference being treated with antifungal medication? They didn't even believe me that it was possible.
And it is a significant issue because if you go in for a consultation with your GP, you might go in because you think you've got a chest infection. Typically, we would mention that you are diagnosed with aspergillosis, and you get not a flicker or any further discussion. There are a number of other things I could mention that I've suffered with, which will provoke some questions and some discussion to aid their diagnosis and their decision on treatment. But what's interesting is the lack of reaction to the information in diagnosing with aspergillosis.
Is it that they are first flickers? I don't know what that is.
I think there may be they may have heard of it, but clearly they have very little knowledge of what's involved. Critically, I think they're not aware of what does that mean to this patient in terms of what will they suffer with as a function of having aspergillosis. Because it seems to me it's much more widely relevant to our general health than is taken into account in our consultation. Now, because I attend here and I have a different level of knowledge, I can probably find my corner a bit better. But to the average patient who's perhaps recently diagnosed with aspergillosis, my guess would be that treatment is not as good as it might be in primary care. Because it's not one of those conditions that triggers lots of activity. Diabetes does, asthma does, and a number of others. You know, I get called into an annual review for my asthma, but I've had no asthma since 3 years. It's perfectly well managed. I still get an annual review, which is fantastic. Targets, absolutely. All that stuff. So I'm still getting annual reviews on conditions which are well controlled. But at primary care, they have no interest in changing for aspergillosis, for example.
So with asthma, they would control it with knowledge, with awareness, and with medication.
And with measuring outcomes, the right to those to a peak flow, for example. Which is very simple, but interestingly, it's a good measure of how well those conditions are being controlled. That makes it easier for treat it in the way that they do to make an anti-reviews method. And maybe that's an issue for Aspergillosis sufferers. How do we judge that their condition is really well controlled? So using sample, weeks it takes to culture that and do the work, which is costly. So that disadvantage is, I guess.
Functionally, lung function, it would be really, and that's what they're following, deep flows and things. I wonder if we have any information on influence of Aspergillosis.
Absolutely. Yeah, because almost certainly Aspergillosis sufferers will have other conditions, other respiratory conditions, quite often.
Yes.
And I wonder if the treatment of the one is suffering as a function of the existence of the other.
They choose to treat all of them.
And let's face it, under pressure we'd all be the same.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. So here's the thought, if there's a new patient is diagnosed, when the information from here, as we get to the patients, and getting that to the GP, he could read that into, because imagine being confronted with that you've got something and you don't actually know anything about it, as a GP, you think you should know about it. So whereas if you go and say, I've been diagnosed with this, and they give me this information, and leave it with him, he might, if he's interested enough, he might think, oh, I better read up on that, because I've got a patient now with it.
And all the GP
So maybe that's the answer.
I've got a severe asthma person, they're uncontrolled, they're in and out of hospital. I'll send them to an asthma specialist, and he comes back with something saying he's got ABPA. So the other side of the, just thinking out the box, but the other side of the point, if there was a screening system where you could compare people with ABPA from his asthma, or even the non-asthma, slightly different diagnosis, in a mass applicable screening, we could identify much more quickly. You would then get focused attention on that particular condition. Much more early.
And general hospitals do Aspergillus testing, or is it just here?
You can ask for our services. They can send the students away for assessment in 2 or 3 places in the UK. Across Europe, and I'm not even sure if anyone said that. I'm not even sure if there's any coordination across Europe for this, but I don't know. We have very few people in our groups from States, quite a lot from the Middle East, India, and Australia. Very few people actually from Europe. I've always assumed there's a language barrier. So that's why I want to take down the language barrier. But, as of 2 days ago, the big group of which I've mentioned is the current president is Neil Ishak, which I should go Institute of something like human and animal mycology, which is a massive, big organisation, second probably only to ESR, we talked about before. And they've just announced something called CPA Net, which is basically a worldwide body to come together and talk about a meeting, talk about CPA. Now I could ask for representation of patients in that. Okay. Right, yeah, that's a lot of good stuff. I think it requires me to write something and then bring it back to you and show you it. The other thing we can do to identify these gaps is, which I thought was a good idea, which is gone through in that paper, is they come up with all these potential gaps and now go back to the patient population and say, which do you think is the most important? And then we have a survey. And then that, which is then what the stronger document back to So that's probably the next thing. So I'll come up with a list of gaps. We might discuss it again next time, try and get some more gaps. And then we'll work towards this. It's really interesting reading that paper because they are describing the process they've gone through to do exactly the same as what we're doing now, or whatever that is. Yes. So, survey, blah, blah, blah. Yes. We'll never get to this subject. I've been trying to get to this subject since April. It's not as important as this stuff. Essentially, should I say in a few sentences, there is no British national framework strategy from the government, from the health service, to deal with lung conditions, lung disease. There isn't one. There is one for heart, there's one for stroke, there's one for a number of other things. There isn't one for lung disease, which is extraordinary. So, the British Lung Foundation wrote a report about this, which you can get if you go to their website. As a response, the Battle for Breath is their campaign for the UK government to have a national strategy. And I've got loads of slides in it. All this stuff. The numbers and everything, showing you how important it is and so on. Maybe I'll show you all the numbers next time.
Is that much though?
Yeah. ASAP wants to come back, he wants to ask before. I don't know if we realise that this is the end of the last month about volunteers to help. So,
No, we could have used it.
just text me So great. That is it. We're out of time. What we're taking. Have I got a last slide today? Next month? No, I haven't got one. Next month might be a pharmacist. Yes, talking about.
Too busy making pies at the moment.
That's a great excuse.
Yeah, by chance. Just learned to cook and he keeps making pies. That's all he seems to get at the moment.
So we might be talking about pharmacy subjects. I'm not sure what pharmacy is. We'll talk about drugs and all the different approaches you're taking and management thereof next time.
Are you away?
I'm not away now.
Oh no, that's May.
That's that, yeah. Sorry, that shouldn't be on there. Go on to that one. No, I haven't got that slide. That slide's gone. So, thank you all for coming and safe journey home.
Thank you, Grant.
And thank you for all the sandwiches.